How's it going, everyone? It's Tekken here, bringing you another Tekken 8 video, and today we're going to be talking all about how to optimize your training room experience within the game. So right now I have the game at the default settings for where you actually start off at the beginning, and we're going to work our way from here. So one thing you definitely want to put on is going to be the block all feature, because right now when you first start the game, you'll be thinking all your combos are real, like say something like this. So if I do something similar to like this, I would think like, oh, maybe these combos are real that I'm like doing, but you won't actually know what is a real combo until you actually put on this setting. So if we go to the start, you go to practice settings, you'll notice that there is a block all feature right here under actions after hit or block. What this allows you to do is figure out what is actually real combos. So now we know that this is a real combo, this is a real combo, and things that aren't real combos simply be blocked down. You can really tell from this, because sometimes things will hit based on the strings and they won't actually be real combos like this right here. So this will probably be something that would hit if we take the setting off, but with the setting on, we notice that this don't actually hit like this. Now, going over some of the settings here that is going to be very important for you, they actually made this very simple as far as what you want to practice. So if you want to practice your offense, you stay in the training room offense section. If you want to practice your defense, you go here. So starting off with the offense stuff, what is here for you to actually practice? So there's a lot of things you could do here. There is the punishment setting, which is very good. So you can actually practice things that your opponent can do against you, which is very nice. So for example, there is things in this game that are kind of negative, but there are ranges you could play at that makes it to where they are kind of safe. So for example, if we take this down forward kick from June here, this is going to be -14. But we can try to play around with the spacing of how we can hit this tool and see if we could get around some of the tools that some of our opponents like to press. So going back to the practice settings, if you go to punishment settings and you actually go to standing punishment, we can set a recording here, and it'll actually set it to where after blocking you could set whatever you want. So we're going to do a standard 1-1-2 from Kazi here, just like that. So now that we have that recorded, we can click yes, and we go back to our settings here, and you see that it changes it from what it was to punish. So this is the new setting. So now when he blocks, he will do that recording that we did. Now this is a 10 frame jab like all the others. However, at the range that we're playing at when we do this poke, we'll see that it actually whiffs. So this gives us a chance to actually, try to see what we can do. So maybe we can sidestep at this range, and look, now we know that we can sidestep this and actually punish him for doing what he was doing. So this is a way for us to practice different offensive strings and see what our opponent's retaliations could possibly be, and actually have counter interactions with that, even with dealing with our minus frames and stuff. So play around with your character and see exactly what are you dealing with that is difficult sometimes, and see if you can make those situations a little bit more to your advantage depending on what your opponent is choosing to actually interact with you with. The next thing to talk about here in the offensive settings is going to be the techniques here, the ground techniques. So these are basically things to worry about when people are waking up, so you can practice different like tech setups and stuff. So these are different ways you could tech in the game. There's a lot of different ways. So this is the back tech that we are doing here. You could change it to all different types of tech. So there's the side rolls, the quick recovery, and also besides these, if these are not the problems that you're dealing with, then you could go into the wake ups, because it's all different types of wake ups as well. So maybe you're dealing with someone doing like the low kick or something. You're like, don't know how to deal with this. You're like, how do I stop the low kick? And you're trying to see if it's punishable. Well, you're only +9 afterwards, so that means you don't have a button that's fast enough, because the fastest buttons in the game are 10 frames, right? So what we could probably do is something like this, and now you can practice the combo from this state. So if you think your opponent is doing this, you can go for something like this, or maybe if you don't want to take that risk, see if you can back up or get a different button. You can all just practice different things from the situation, see exactly what your character can get from the situations, from the different wake up opportunities that your opponent is trying to do. Now, of course, there is the counter hit settings, which don't really need much explanation. The player counter is for you, and the opponent counter is for your opponent. So this is how you counter hit your opponent. This is how you have the opponent counter hit you. The rages, once again, probably don't need an explanation. This is your rage, it's the opponent's rage. Same thing with the player's heat, no heat, activated heat. Simply how you do those. Throw escapes are here, opponent's throw escapes. So how you get them to throw escape and how you make sure you throw escape when you're doing stuff. There is the neutral block, don't block, and then if you really want to, you can put input delay frames there as well. Some other good things here for sure is going to be the defensive option, like we were saying before. So this is how you actually practice against things, and this is how you set up to see if something is reactable or not. So just to showcase a little bit of how this is done, CPU opponent action 1. So you can set a multiple actions here, multiple 8 actions, and you can have them play on different timer, or you have them play on a timer and have them shuffle. So if we want to do one here, for example, if we want to do a mix up with Kazuya, so we can do this and then actually record it just like that. So we have a Hell Sweet mix up, and I like to put a jab in between when I'm practicing against mix ups, just so there isn't like a sort of delay timing that I'm like is able to see on my actual recording itself, because maybe I'm clicking the button too slow. So putting the jab there makes it to where it seems like it's always the same thing. And then we can put another one here. So if we do this, we go into this, we can go you know, do the mid. So we do a mid option just like that. So we now have another option at our disposal, and we save that. So now we have 2 recordings and we have them at the same frequency. Now we can actually try this out. So don't really have to mess with anything else here. The other thing you probably can mess with if you really want to is the action interval. So you can make it to where it's slow, so to where it doesn't play back too quickly. So we're gonna put this on just so it doesn't play back too quickly, and now we can test it out. So it'll tell you the buttons down there. So to play it, you simply press that and it'll play the mix up that we just did. So now we have it, and it's on a slow interval, like I said, so it's a little bit slow. We could make it faster if we want, but you can see that he's actually doing it. Just make it faster a bit here. So now I have it on short, and now he'll just continue to be able to do it. So now we have the mix up happening right here. So now we can see the mix up, and we can try to block to see if this is something we can try to block depending on what's happening here. So he's doing the mix up and we are blocking it. So we know, okay, so if our opponent is doing it like this is something we can block. Now, of course, you can set up many different things and have it tested to actually try to actually see if the different strings and things that the opponent is doing are reactable, or just simply guessing depending on what's happening on the screen. Now that we talked about the offensive defensive settings inside the menus, another cool feature that you see at the bottom there is the remember. This is the save state feature. So this is going to be a feature that actually remembers the state in the game that you are currently in. This is going to be a pretty cool feature because it allows you to practice certain points of things that you're doing. So for example, if I do something like this, so we go into this and I want to practice, say, the cancel after this, right? So I click the button to actually do the cancel for that. So I can click record the status, right? So we actually set this up correctly. You'll see exactly how it looks. So now I saved that actual state, and I can basically reproduce that state anytime I want. So you see the new button down there is L3 to basically have that state happen. So now I can have it happen to where, you know, they are at that point where I just spent it and actually practice the combo from that point itself, and it just remembers exactly where it was. So I could practice many different routes, you know, many different combo routes and stuff to see the different situation that can come up during that point. So that is something that is very handy to actually utilize. Now, another thing you may want to do is probably practice your wall combos or something. Maybe you don't want to practice exactly at the mid screen, you want to practice exactly at the wall. And sometimes, you know, you may be on some bigger stages like this. Maybe you want to practice on this specific stage or another stage. There's a setting for that as well. So if you go over here to the practice settings, and under restart settings, you'll see that you have the ability to actually switch the position. So you can switch the current position of the players, or you can simply put them at the walls. A couple of things you could do here. You could put it to, you know, player direction, so you could change the direction, player's direction, so if I want to be in the back, so back stance and stuff. You know, you can do all different types of things of how you want to do it, but we want to mainly look at the wall here, just for an example. And now we can practice our combos at the wall. So you can practice things at the wall. You don't have to, you know, move them all the way back to the wall by running them or dashing them all the way to the wall. You can simply just go to the wall and practice your combos at the wall just like that. So that is a very good setting to actually utilize. Now, talking about more what is here, they also have punishment training. So if you don't know exactly what you're trying to look for and you just want to work on punishment training for a character, you can simply select the difficulty and select the set of moves here. They don't go over all the moves, but they go over a set of moves, and it basically like gives you hints of what to do. So recommended punish, it says right there. So it tells you like the spot that it will be at. So you see it's pointing to the high section, high right there, so you know it's a high. So I can duck it, as you see. So it's going to like this one right here. We can put on many different ones, so you can have multiple at a time. So it wants me to do that. Just practice these. So it does one at a time on normal, and then if you put it on hard, I believe it like just switches. So it did that one. This is going to do another one, I believe. Yeah, see, it's just switching up between them. So this one is more like free form punish. The other one is more practicing one at a time on normal. So normal is one at a time. Hard is it just basically goes through the list at a random select. So that is punishment training. Once again, you could just use the defensive training style if you want to practice specifically versus certain things like we were just showcasing, or you can do punishment if you want to just, you know, just practice that type of stuff. Combo challenge is nice because it allows you to actually, you know, start the character and basically just give you a few combos. These aren't going to be that optimal, but it does give you an idea of what's possible with the character. So definitely check those out if you're definitely new. And the move list, obviously this don't really need an explanation outside of the unique things about how this is different from Tekken 8 here. So of course they have the main technique. So this is a very good way to just get started with the character because it shows you certain things like what is heat activated, a few combos here. It has these like little notes to let you know how exactly like they work. Like, is it a heat smash combo used during heat, increased chip damage on block. It tells you like little things about what they do, and it tells you like how they want you to use the move. So these are recommended combos from this combo starter, so it give you combo starters. It tells you things that are effective against certain opponents. So effective against side stepping is this, effective against stand blocking, which means this is a low attack. So low attack against side stepping, this was this because it's a homing attack. So it tells you things that are good versus those things. So the main technique section is pretty good to understand like some good tools with your character that are going to help you get started very quickly. Now of course the all techniques is going to be everything your character has at disposal. The thing that I want to note here is how it's actually organized so you can figure out what you're trying to get to as easily as possible. Of course you need to understand the actual move list icons here, so familiarize yourself with the actual legend here so you know exactly what the icons mean. These are very important to know because sometimes there are moves like the health bar one down there at the bottom next to, down there with the star. There's a move that diminishes your opponent's remaining recovery gauge. There are moves that actually diminish gauge in this game, mainly the actual supers of everybody, but some characters specifically have ones that actually do it themselves like Nina. So going through this list, you can see that there are heat system, heat moves, your rage moves, and then your normal moves. But if you go down, it actually goes through special moves, and stances are in their own thing. So if you want to try to find your stances, the easy way to do it is to go to the stance section. So moves during side steps, there's side steps, and then Izumo. So Izumo is the stance. So shift to Izumo, as you see. So this is a stance for this character. Genjutsu is also a stance for this character, and the Miyade is a stance. So all your stances will be in unique sections for themselves, what makes it easy for you to find exactly what moves you want to go to for the stance that you're looking for. So if you want to be like, hey, I don't really use this other stance my character got, well, it's neatly organized so you can just go to that stance and look at all the moves rather than looking at the list where it just like goes all the way down like in Tekken 7 where it wasn't actually organized like this. A little bit more rough. So you got your while crouching moves also in a section of their own too. So it makes it a lot easier to actually just go through your moves and see what's happening. Even your throws are in their own section, and if your character has any parries or reversals and stuff, they're also in their own section. So it makes things a lot easier to actually look at. Now of course there's the sample combos. This is basically just the combo trials, but the thing about these is you can put these on your screen. So just like the move list, you can put these on your screen and just try them out. So press the triangle button and it will put it on your screen right there. So now we can just practice the combo. It doesn't work like the combo trial where it gives you the actual, you know, like the complete sign and whatever, like the okay and complete. It doesn't work like that, but you can actually practice your combos or moves that you want to by just simply putting them. And of course to remove, you just press the pad button plus the triangle button again, and that's how you'll remove it. And last but not least, I know you guys are all using it. You don't have to go back to character select. You don't have to go back to stage selection. You do have a quick select in this game. I believe it's in Tekken 7 as well. You can just simply go through the entire cast, pick who you want here, even your costume, by the way. So if you want to have your costume on, go ahead and pick your customs. They're all right there as well. Of course, your stage too. So you don't have to go back to character select or stage select. Just pick it in the quick select. It's way easier. The moment you pick your character here, click confirm, it'll take you to the player 2 side, the CPU side, and you can pick the stuff for them as well, and then confirm it, and it will, you know, just put you right there. So you're all set with that. And that's pretty much the main things inside of training room that you're going to be utilizing. There is the displays here we could talk about a little bit as well. So of course there are a couple of displays here. I just usually keep these on. If you want to see your command history, display that. Nothing too crazy. I mainly would keep a lot of this on. If you want to show the actual opponent data, you can. Maybe it's confusing for you to see these certain frame data on their side, so maybe if you want to see it on your side, like you know, saying something is +8 for you when you block something on the opponent, that may be confusing. Maybe you just want to see the -8 on the opponent, and that's more easier for your brain or whatever. So you could put that data on as you see fit by just simply putting it on right there, and now you have the same thing there. So, you know, you're +8, they're -8, you know. So that's how that works. But anyway, I just wanted this mainly to be about the training room experience and how to make your training room experience a lot better. I will be making a more in-depth guide about how to like go in depth with punishment training itself, including using the new replay takeover feature. So that will be its own separate video, because there's a lot to talk about that and how to actually, you know, go about that situation, and even helping others learn the game, because you can actually use that feature to take over other people replays, not just your own. So it actually goes very in depth, and we're going to be making a whole video about that. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say here today, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you hear more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Tekken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.